Oh man, Suicide Squad made me fucking sick for the last 5 days, god damn it. When it comes to Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League, it's safe to say it's not doing too hot in the public eye. From the low Steam numbers that match their 9-year-old game, to the Metacritic scores that are lower than Gotham Knights are crying out loud, Suicide Squad has very little chance at redeeming itself with any form of backtracking the most disrespectful moments from its tone-deaf story that doesn't even know what it wants to be. So let's go ahead and start there. Picking up 3 weeks into Brainiac's invasion, which honestly seems like a huge stretch of time we should have seen, or at least been shown in some way, shape, or form, cut out that random tutorial scene in the beginning where characters somehow don't know how to use their abilities a week into their mission.
Afterburner, breathe, kickstart, easy.
Haven't you done this a billion times?
And add a scene showing how Brainiac actually captured the Justice League, for crying out loud. You know, the central focus of most of the story. Even Avengers was smart enough to have A-Day start at the beginning of the fucking game. Throughout the campaign, from start to finish, we get nothing but joke after joke, and while I obviously know they're shooting, pun intended, for a different tone than the Arkham games, the squad turning everything into a poop joke and mocking the enemy that they're about to fight sucks any tension I have in any scene that they have in this game. It's literally consistent within every single fucking scene that they joke. I can't think of a single scene besides the post-credit scene where they're not joking, and it's pathetic. Intensity is not a word I would use for this game, despite fighting the most powerful characters in this universe. How do I fight the Justice League and Brainiac, and I still have no fear or tension in any of these scenes? It's bizarre. It's so bizarre how they're able to do that in this writing. Another thing, again, this kind of ties back to the whole there's no tension thing, is that none of the squad is in danger. They literally take no damage outside of Boomerang before the Flash fight, and it's really unfortunate, especially when they're basically getting soloed in the first couple of hours of the game by 3 characters, technically 4. Flash would have killed them if it wasn't for Wonder Woman stopping him. So, you know, my point being, plot armor is a bitch. And if you complain about it for Batman in the Arkham games, you better point that shit out for Suicide Squad, because they have the most plot armor I've ever seen in a fucking superhero video game ever. It is insane. It really does also suck that none of the other members of the Justice League get any final words except Wonder Woman. And I've seen and I've heard that they're clones theory about a million fucking times. I don't give a fuck. Batman or even Superman, for Christ's sake, should have said something badass before just slumping over and dying, or at least Flash, or at least Green Lantern. But I mean, Green Lantern doesn't even say anything. He just calls us pathetic and gets shot in the head. If we are pathetic as the Suicide Squad, Green Lantern, whether you're a clone or not, you're fucking even more pathetic. Why is he talking right now? You just got beat by Harley Quinn of all people, bro. Very underwhelming deaths. And then, like, everything else again is played after their scenes of each character dying. It's just played off as a joke. And honestly, there are comics that do this trope 100 times better. That'll be my next video. But just for example, I mean, Death of Superman, literally the way he dies and comes back, that whole thing is spectacular, immaculate, one of the best forms of storytelling that the comics have ever done. Also, fucking Nightfall, man. I love seeing Batman get deconstructed and broken by fucking Bane. That's one of my favorite stories of all time. And here's the other thing. That happens by a character that literally just pops up out of nowhere. He just popped up. He's just a new character that breaks Batman, and it's unbelievable. This shit right here, man, all of these deaths are none of that. There's no actual earned feeling that you get from killing the Flash or killing Superman. It's all just kind of given to you, and the characters are somehow able to do it, and it makes no sense. Most of the characters are just backwards too. Like, I hate every single one of these characters. They argue over putting a bomb in Ivy and Hack's head, but don't hesitate to do it to Toyman, like the most innocent character, the most innocent child in the whole game. They probably didn't even need to, like, threaten him with violence. He wanted to help them. It's so bizarre. I don't understand what they were thinking. Harley also talks about turning a new leaf in her bio, but really hasn't changed all that much outside of the Harley that we knew. So she's just still the same uncaring, chaotic and evil type of character, but now she has a 50 IQ instead of a 25 IQ. King Shark is Drax 2.0 if he was fucking smart, right? And then Deadshot is as stale as a cracker. Whoa, not that cracker. Oh man. Man, not that guy. Look, I think the whole Deadshot thing doesn't really matter, but it's stupid the way they brought him back. I mean, we have no connection to this Deadshot. If it was the Arkham Deadshot, maybe, but this is just some random Deadshot that just is here now. So, like, what the fuck's the point of even caring about this guy? It's really bizarre, too, because Green Lantern also threatens this guy's daughter. Like, says her name by name, and says that that's going to be the next thing that he's going to go do. And the next thing that Deadshot says is, Fish got some jokes. Bruh.
Oh, Deadshot. I know you're worried about your kid. Zoe, right? I'll make sure she's safe and sound.
Pardon me, Shark. Catch of the day's got jokes.
Why don't you go and call your daughter real quick? See if she's doing okay. Instead, he just kind of brushes it off like that was an empty threat. Bro, what? Another thing, too, is that they have an established, like, phobia for Deadshot, that he's scared of tight spaces and whatnot, and they couldn't even resolve that arc. Like, you remember in the Suicide Squad when Bloodsport has that rat phobia, or he hates rats? He's like, get that thing away from me, Mike. You know what I mean? And then at the end of the movie, it lays on his lap and he starts petting it and he likes rats now. You know, a character arc? That never happens in this fucking game. I guess they'll probably just explain it in DLC too, along with those stupid fucking clone theories that you guys got. And Boomerang gets annoying after like the second hour, minus a couple scenes. But he's a white male, and a lot like Joker, they're masking their insecurities with bad behavior. Anyway, the final thing about the story is the fact that it has no ending. Even Avengers and Gotham Knights, with their promises of more content, still gave their games a proper conclusion, instead of making everything you did basically for nothing. How exactly am I supposed to give a single fuck about DLC when I didn't gain anything from the 9 hours of content you just gave me? The Justice League I fought wasn't really them, and the Brainiac I killed was 1 out of 13? So what you're telling me is, the title means nothing, and the main villain I just fought was basically, you know, that meant nothing. I ask again, what was even the point? It's so weird. It's so bizarre. Because now also, the squad is totally up for doing all this too, for some weird reason. I remember hearing Harley literally saying they're going to try to slip underneath Waller's nose ASAP, and they are just now their lab dogs, basically. So again, wishy-washy characters with zero arc. I'm sorry, I had a lot to say about that goddamn story, so let's go ahead and go over to the gameplay. While admittedly, the gameplay when you master it with a particular character does feel fun, and being able to customize your character the way you want will always be enjoyable to a degree, but as soon as you do your 4th Fortnite bus mission, or like the 10th escort mission, your brain starts to turn off tremendously. It gets so repetitive that my fingers are basically on autopilot after a certain degree. Like, look, this is the flow to Rocksteady's last game, and this is the flow to their new game. Do you see the difference? You have an advantage with this game if you have ADHD. It's really kind of sad. It also doesn't really do anything interesting with the shooting or traversal for that matter. I mean, the traversal is kind of pathetic because Harley swings like Avengers Spider-Man and then grapples like Gotham Knights characters, basically. King Shark is practically Hulk from Avengers with a gun, and then Deadshot is a more limited Iron Man from Avengers, and then Boomerang probably has the most unique of the 4, but it all has limiters to their powers, which makes them like severely sluggish at times. I mean, I feel so slow when I'm playing as Boomerang. It's like, why the fuck? What's even the point? I can just fly around as Deadshot, land on the ground, and have my boost back. I mean, Deadshot's probably the best player to get around with. All these other characters, they really feel like, they all feel very sluggish. That's just my opinion, and it all feels very Avengery when you're moving around. And I have no, like, experiences of me doing anything cool with the traversal because there is nothing that you can do, you know, expression wise. You just go from point A to point B as fast as you can with these characters with the traversal that they set up. So I don't really like this. The mission layout doesn't really give the gameplay anything to sink its teeth into, and the constantly generic and samey enemies that you fight and face throughout this whole game, I found myself getting bored really, really fast. A mini boss here or there would have been really nice. I mean, like, for Christ's sake, you are in Metropolis of all places, and you couldn't have a Superman villain get brainwashed? Or like some tutorial Justice Leaguer? Y'all disrespected all of them anyway. Why not bring in Aquaman in here as well? He's already been a joke for years, and now he has his stupid fucking movie that just came out that's a garbage fucking take of him too. So you might as well just have like Aquaman, Parasite, I don't know, Doomsday. Y'all could have done some cool shit with these characters and their villains, and actually having other metahumans brainwashed besides just 5 of them, and it would have been actually interesting, and you could have like dragged out the story a little bit. But instead, they just like do the most anticlimactic boss battles ever. I'll get into that in just a second. Oh man, I have the boss battle thing in just a second. Just give me a minute. All in all, the gameplay can be fun in a very, 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 very short burst. But another thing, if you have seizures, or like if you have seizure problems, obviously from the gameplay that you're watching, don't play this shit. Do not force yourself, because dude, I was getting headaches. I literally am sick, probably from playing this game and like suffering the shit that I had to suffer. So it dropped my immune system, and it probably would for you as well. All right. Some saving graces. I love the facials. I mean, the facial animations. The facial animations are incredible. Like literally top of the line in the story. It made me laugh, like seeing people's faces and their reactions. It's incredible, and I hope that WB kind of uses that technology for future games, or at least a lot of the people that have worked with WB see what Rocksteady did with that and actually take that from there too. The acting isn't bad. It's not the worst, but there's nothing outstanding either. Like, I can't really say any standout performances besides Kevin Conroy and Nolan North as Superman. And I really did like the guy that played Flash. I'm forgetting his name, but he played Heimdall in God of War Ragnarok too. Incredible. Those voice actors, fucking amazing. Wonder Woman as well. Wonder Woman, very, very good. And Amanda Waller as well. So there are some voice acting standouts. I guess Captain Boomerang does have his moments, and I do like Samoa Joe as King Shark as well. But Tara Strong as Harley Quinn, I haven't liked her since I was like 12, bro, when I was listening to her in Arkham City and Arkham Knight. In Arkham Knight especially, she's annoying, but at least in this go-around, she's slightly less like of that high-pitched, obnoxious tone. I still don't like Harley Quinn played by Tara Strong. There are a lot of things that are just obnoxious about that, and overall, a lot of people are like, she's like one of the best performances, bro. I don't know, maybe I'm a hot take, but that shit's garbage, man. The Hall of Justice intro mission is also another saving grace. Like, that whole thing, just seeing all those characters, listening to Batman and Superman, you know, it's incredible. You know, I wanted to see a full Justice League game, and that was something that kind of gave me a little bit of hope that maybe they will do that in the future. The Batman Museum scene, oh my god, that shit made me literally shit my pants, bro. I literally almost pissed myself. That was terrifying.
I get got right here, right?
And some of the music too, when it doesn't sound like a battle royal game menu. Like the whole menu, I hate it. Dun, 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 dun. It's stuck in my head, but you know, it's gonna go away eventually. Like, if I go play Apex and Fortnite right now, I wouldn't be able to tell a difference. So that's all I'm saying there. But the other music, like all the Arkham like little tones that you hear sometimes, are fucking incredible. And everything else that kind of like actually tries sounds really good. So I love all of those. Really good beats that aren't like the Fortnite Battle Royale game music, and that's about it. Alright, the last category. Here we are. The whole game basically marketed around this whole premise of fighting the Justice League, and when you do, it's all shit. Flash and Superman just zip around everywhere. There's no flow to it. It's literally just pure chaos with colors and effects sparkling everywhere to distract the player. Green Lantern is beyond easy. Again, another overstimulation type of fucking boss battle. And Batman, bro, it's so sad to say, Batman's just pathetic. It's downright embarrassing how they did Bruce in this whole game. But that boss fight, just being a direct ripoff of Scarecrow's challenge map in Arkham Knight, with Harley Quinn somehow being like immune or can counter the effects based off of a 50-50 hunch against Batman on his own turf. It's so nonsensical. I just can't see how anybody can defend this shit. You literally just jump, shoot, jump, shoot, jump, shoot, jump, shoot, and that's it. Like, come on, man. This boss battle is garbage. On top of all of that, the final enemy, Brainiac, literally turns into the first boss that you fought in this game, but with minions. Rocksteady, don't make a shit boss battle that isn't Mr. Freeze challenge. It's just sad, man, how these larger than life characters go out in the most pathetic manner possible, only to be brought back via DLC to be NPCs in the Hall of Justice like anybody gives a fuck. There's ways to do really cool deaths for these characters, like I mentioned before. Hell, Barry sacrificed himself to save the world. Batman got his lick back against Darkseid when he kidnapped him with a gun. That was badass. And Superman got his shit pushed in only to come back later. All those moments were great. And even the way they brought him back was even better because it had weight and meaning. Hell, even Gotham Knights knew how to give Batman a good death twice. This game does none of that and shows you vague hints that it's not the real Justice League, it's clones, basically making their deaths a lot like Brainiac's meaningless, which begs a question again, like I asked earlier, once again, what the fuck is the point of this game? Why even play it? My time with Suicide Squad, at the end of the day, really felt pointless. As somebody who's been an Arkham fan since I was like 12, playing that 15-minute Arkham City demo on the Xbox 360 over and over again, it's not meant for me, obviously. And to a certain extent, if you played one looter shooter, you probably played a slightly altered version of Suicide Squad with the generic hold the point, escort the car, protect this asset mission over and over again. So it might not even be meant for you, but it might be meant for the people that are not tired of that garbage. At the end of the day, this game felt like it was made for higher ups who wanted to hit every checkbox they could to match with the current trends. The only problem is they're going off of trends from years ago and bringing it into a world that is flat out tired of the pandering, the down talking to gamers and the audience, and the sheer incompetence of the people that are in charge who don't know what the fans want. Suicide Squad is all of that wrapped into one game that not only belittles their former fan base, but has effectively alienated new players from playing the game because of it. Suicide Squad gets a 4 out of 10 for me. It's a pretty forgettable story outside of the major deaths. The gameplay is repetitive and boring at times, and the whole reason to play the game was bait for future content so you could spend even more of your money on skins and brain cells of attention to this god-forsaken game. Thank you for watching.